Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you all to today's webinar. As a part of MBA to Corporate series, my name is Aman and I will be moderating this session. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. And as we delve into our exciting topic, understanding the corporate world in different sectors. At Bejobbed, our mission is to help MBA students seamlessly transition into the corporate world. We go beyond placements to support your journey through mentorship, skill building, and career guidance. From summer internships to your first job, and all the way to leadership roles, we are committed to being your partner in growth. Bejobbed is building a community where MBA students can gain valuable insights and mentorship directly from corporate leaders with a decade of experience. This program is just not about starting your career, but about shaping your long-term success. This webinar is designed to provide MBA students like you with a valuable insights into how various industries function, their unique cultures and challenges, and the opportunities. It will help you to make informed decisions as you prepare to enter the corporate world. Before we begin, let me introduce our esteemed panelist for today, Mr. Praveen Jaipuriar, the CEO of Continental Coffee Limited, is a seasoned leader with over 27 years of experience in FMCG industry. At 51, he spearheads CCL, a global leader in the coffee industry, known for its innovation both in the areas of product and processes. With a clear vision, Mr. Jaipuriar aims to create value for stakeholders, mentor his team to enhance their professional and life skills, and contribute positively to the society. Mr. Jaipuriar holds an MBA and a BA in economics degree. His journey began as a management trainee at Balsara Home Products in 1997, and also he has worked at Dabur India Limited. His initial years in FMCG sector, particularly in the sales, were challenging yet enriching, laying a solid foundation for his career. His extensive experience in various capacities has equipped him with a comprehensive understanding of the industry, driving him to excel in his current role. We welcome you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Aman. Thank you for having me here. And thank you for the nice introduction.
Thanks. Our second speaker is Mr. Vasu PS, an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad and currently serving as an associate director in sales development at Perfetti Melle. With over 12 years of invaluable experience, Mr. Vasu has held pivotal roles across India, contributing significantly to the strategic growth in FMCG companies. His notable achievements include expanding market dominance in East and Northeast India, establishing PVMI as a leading FMCG company in Bhutan, and implementing innovative route-to-market strategies that resulted in a remarkable 60% increase in direct coverage. Mr. Vasu has also held leadership positions at Lotte India Corporation, Wrigley India Pvt Ltd, and Danone. His diverse skill set and vast experience make him an ideal mentor for individuals seeking guidance in sales, distribution, and market expansion. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
I'm happy for the introduction and nice meeting you, Praveen, here. Allow me a little more time, maybe a few minutes, because there's been a terrible traffic, which is unlike of Chennai. It's not really so, traffic oriented, but I'm stuck in a place where I'm still on the car. I'll join and switch on the camera in a few minutes, but otherwise I'll keep participating. Bear with me, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello, Vasu.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, same here, Vasu.
So let's make this an interactive and engaging session, and we will begin with a few questions, and I encourage our speakers to share their experiences and expertise. Towards the end, we will open the floor to questions from the students. So feel free to note down any queries you have or any questions you would like to ask in the end. So we'll start with, let's discuss the key differences in culture, opportunities, and challenges between traditional sectors like FMCG or manufacturing and emerging sectors like tech or e-commerce? And how should MBA students decide which sectors align with their skills and aspirations? Over to you, sir.
So Vasu, I'll just start off, and maybe then you can add on and chip in. Uh, you know, this is I'm addressing to the students, and Aman, you have asked this question: what is the culture difference between different setups or different types of industry? My belief is that culture is not probably industry dependent. Yeah, culture is also it's organization specific. Culture is driven by leaders of the organization, and you will find that different cultures being followed or different cultures being there in different in the same industry. Yeah, so within the FMCG industries, different companies could have different culture, or within the new age companies like the tech companies and the new age startups, the culture could be different in different companies. So I don't think so there is a difference in culture. Yes, what happens is that some of the established FMCG organizations who have been here, they have followed a certain pattern and probably have a little traditional way of working. And Vasu will kind of agree with me that in our young days there was a set pattern wherein you kind of do sales in a certain way that the organization was doing. Today, let's say with advent of newer channels, there is a difference in way of or let's say there is a difference in platform, but the fundamentals don't change. Yeah, the fundamentals don't change. A fundamental of a salesman never changes. Yeah, whether I'm selling on a street, whether I'm selling in a mall, or whether I'm selling on a digital platform, the fundamentals of drawing interest of consumers, the fundamentals of convincing them about your product, they all really don't change. So culturally, things may not be different from one place to the other. A lot depends on the way the organization is structured, the way organization is working. Sometimes, in the new age startups, because it's a close set of people who are doing work, the culture is far more, casual, and it's while it is casual and maybe sometimes chaotic. But let's say in organizations which have been there for years, let's say I worked in organizations like Dabur and CCL, which are very old organizations. Here you will find that there is a pattern in which the work happens. The workflow is very structured, lot process driven, process oriented. So things could be a little different here. As far as your careers are concerned, there is a certain path that these organizations have laid for management trainees for you to progress in the organization. While as in a new age setup, probably things are more dynamic, and there may not be a very structured path to, because the organization itself is at the nascent stage, and probably you will grow with the organization. So that could be the difference in these two types of setup. But yeah, as far as where should you work, what is the area that you should look forward to, it will also depend on what kind of personalities you have. And sometimes it is important to self-assess that what kind of person I am. There are certain people who enjoy chaos, yeah, and there are certain set of people who enjoy a very structured approach. They are very structured. They don't like chaotic approach. So, or there are certain people who like formal ways of working. There are certain people who like casual ways of working. So it really depends what kind of person one is. One should go for self-assessment, figure out what will be enjoyable for me to work as, and in which environment I'll thrive better. And that should be your guiding principle. That what are the places you would like to work on. So that's I don't know if I've made a lot of sense. I've tried putting a lot of things in this short time, but Vasu, maybe you can add to what I said, agree or disagree.
Yeah.
Let's hear your view.
No, perfectly. Absolutely right, Praveen. There are new age. I think I just want them to understand fundamental difference that I'm sure all your parents are in their late 40s and 50s, while all of you are in Instagram. Probably most of your parents are still on Facebook. That does not mean that they don't know technology. And that's how in organization, what happens typically in an organization, this culture is, as Praveen very rightly said, is obviously created by people, and over a period of time it becomes a way of working, or not necessarily a norm. So don't get too much bogged down about this culture, because what happens in a startup, we'll have to understand that in a shop floor when you are working, obviously mission will lead everything. So that's one. So therefore there the mechanical part, the entire automation part, is very, very important, where the human intervention is going to be low. When you talk about a typical FMCG, largely it is marketing, right? In a typical FMCG, it is marketing driven. Now, therefore, in a marketing driven, the innovation takes the lead. When you talk about technology, it's all about, in the technology, it is the new age that we people talk about and whatnot, is all about the innovation from a technological standpoint. Whereas in an FMCG, an innovation is more from creating a brand. I talk to different consumers as a marketeer when I am selling any of the product. Let's say I'm selling a coffee. Today, the coffee that I sell in a Starbucks versus a coffee that I sell in any other restaurant, the type of consumers I need to know, the target group I understand. Therefore, I bring in that innovation or the cutting edge to my brand. So you create a brand, that's marketing from an FMCG lens. So in a completely automation based, it's going to be different. End of the day, it is the same people. So the people make the organization, they form the culture, and therefore that sticks to the company what is right. So therefore, nothing really different. If easiest for you to comprehend would be, you are in a premier institute. Prior to this, you were probably in an engineering or in your arts or science that you were studying. The environment was very different. And mind you, prior to that, you were in a school. So therefore, as a school student, what the culture that you had undergone, or as a college goer, what did you and what are you in a business school is different. Similarly, at organization, it keeps evolving as the organization evolves. In an evolved organization, these are seen very widely, and importantly for you as management, graduates, once you go and join them, you will be most welcome, because the newness that you would bring, the innovation that you would bring, or the ideas that you would bring will be most required. And therefore, this is something that you will be a ready fit there. Nothing to worry too much about it.
Thank you for shedding light on this. And it's interesting to see how these sectors differ and the factors students should consider while aligning their career with the industry expectations. So, moving on to our leadership development, how do different sectors approach career progression and leadership roles? And are there any notable differences in how traditional versus emerging sectors groom future leaders?
So, Aman, my take on this is as follows. Again, something similar to what we spoke just now. There is no set pattern that this industry grooms leaders this way, or that industry grooms leaders this way. It's just because what happens is that in a very structured environment, and FMCG sector has been one of the most structured sectors as far as career progression of let's say management trainees are concerned. So they have a very structured pattern, and you will see in most of these organizations, once the management trainees are inducted, they'll go through 1 year of training, and then maybe a few years in sales, and then they move into marketing and some other functions, and then they will start moving towards a general management role. So that's how a typical structure in a more structured organization will be. However, in a newer setup, things are more dynamic, as I said, and they may not have a very structured way of grooming leaders. It is more of here and now, what's happening. They are looking for newer contracts. They are looking for small wins every day. So every day is in itself is a assessment period, so as to say. But keeping all of this aside, I don't think so. You guys should worry too much about how do you want to progress, because sometimes overthinking also leads to chaotic scenarios, and you may get bogged down that, okay, how my career is going it going in the right direction? not in the right direction. And here I would take, two examples, and I would give these two examples to you. uh, First and foremost, you should treat your careers like how you treat mutual funds. Yeah. So the way you treat mutual funds is that you invest in, with regularity of this thing, in regularity of period. So you do, systematic investment plan. Similarly, for your career, you should keep investing in your career in terms of new learning all the time without worrying too much about the outcome. And similar to mutual funds, you should not look at short-term gains, because if you were to put money today and you want to say that, okay, after 5 days I'm getting returns or not, you won't. Yeah. Mutual funds atypically give you returns after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You have heard this whole concept of interest compounding. So interest compounding doesn't happen in the first year, second year, third year, fifth year. It starts happening in the 8th year, 10th year, 15th year, 20th year. And that's how you should plan your career, and put a lot of onus on you, that how can you bring a lot of value to the table, and what is that every day, what is that you are bringing value to the table. And the second thing, I don't know how much of you are still, because you are young generation, I don't know how much of you are clued into this game of cricket. So I'll just take some examples. And the reason I'm taking these examples, because these are real life scenarios in which you juxtapose into corporate life and in your professional life. It pays you. And the example that I'm going to take is cricket, because a lot of us are interested in it and a lot of us understand it. So, in between 2008 and 2015, India really became champions of T20 and 50 over cricket. Yeah. And they were winning trophies, they were winning matches under the leadership of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and everything was going fine, except one thing. India was not able to win test matches abroad. Yeah. And they were struggling. They used to be champions in the formats. They used to be champions at home. But when it came to winning test matches abroad, they really struggled. They struggled in Australia. They struggled in England and South Africa. And then came and it was really baffling, because they had all the talent in their team. They were winning everything else except Test cricket, and people were not able to fathom that what's happening. And later, the new thinking came in after 2015-16, is that Test matches are not won over 5 days. Test matches are won in sessions. So they figured out in 5 days there are 15 sessions. The team which will win more sessions than the other team will win the Test match. So they stopped bothering about winning the Test match. They started focusing on winning the session. So as a career, you should start focusing on winning the session, rather than thinking too much that how the career progression is going to be, when will I become this, when will I become that. All that will happen if you are focusing on the session and saying, okay, this is the session I want to win. This is the day I want to win. This is the week I want to win. This is the year I want to win. And that's how you should be focused on your career, and go about it, treating it as a mutual fund. Keep investing, so that you will start seeing the results in the 20th year. You will start seeing the results in the 25th year. But doesn't mean that you get bogged down in the first 15-20 years. Oh, I haven't become this. My career hasn't gone this way. My friends have become this. Somebody has become a vice president. I'm still not there. Don't worry about all of that. Everybody's time will come. As long as you are focused, as long as you are invested, and as long as you are learning, and as long as you are contributing to the cause of the organization, things will happen for you. So that's my two-piece advice on how career progression in different industries happen. It is not different at different places. Fundamentals remain the same. Yes, some industries are more structured, but come to think of it, not all of us will get a job at Hindustan Unilever. Yeah, I'm just saying to prove a point that not all of us may get this thing. But does that mean that I kind of rue that opportunity? Does that mean that I get bogged down? No, not really. Even if I get a job in a small organization, which is probably a startup, there is so much to look forward to. And my thinking should not be that, is my career progressing the way it should, or is my career progressing the way somebody else's career is progressing? No, not at all. Each one of you is different. Each one of you will get into a job profile which will be different. So you need not compare and say that, okay, this person is going this route, that person is going that route. You will have your own route. Stay focused, keep learning, keep contributing. That's my mantra.
I will not go too far to take examples. The person who just spoke and finished has been possibly a company man for almost 18 years. Praveen, if I'm right, Balsara then became Dabar, and then you have
Yeah,
been
right,
more or less a one company man, right? You have to
right.
understand that equity shares pay only in the long run. He talked about compounding interest. I think a gentleman who joined after finishing in 97, he joined probably in 2001 in Balsara and thereafter remained in the same company almost about 16, 17 years. And he almost, he scaled up, like any one of you in your ambition you have that I will pass out, then I will join a company, I'll scale up, I'll become a functional head. So you have taken the insights from the man who has passed through the journey of being in a company at a starter. From there, in a matter of maybe 15, 16 years, Praveen, you became the head of head of the function, and now you are the CEO. So every company has their own, as he himself said, has the structured program. This is one. When the companies have structured program, mind you, they are all investing on the young talents because you all are raring to do the young generation with a lot of newness in your thinking, learning, and whatnot, ability to adapt, which means the organizations are keen to take each one of you. And Praveen also mentioned, not necessary that all of you are going to be, necessarily in a lever, it's not required, etc. Absolutely. The day you gave the CAT exam, your ambition could have been to be in an ABC, but does not mean that, you have landed in Jammu is going to be an inferior. So you don't have to really. I always know I come from this long stint I had Perfetti. Perfetti current MD is also from Tapmi. Okay. So he has also found his way in a matter of 18 years. Maybe he was a 98 batch. By 2015, 16, he became Philippines head, thereafter became Vietnam head, one of the most profitable, and currently he's India MD. So therefore, every company invests on talents like you, and you are from a premier business school. It's all up to you to make it to that next level. Your own, I would say, attitude, that's the most important thing. Again, the cricket is a relevant example. The attitude of winning in overseas buy sessions was missing, and that's exactly what the change that India had gone through. And since 2010, if you have to look at between 2010 and 20, the number of tests we won, whether the series was won and lost is different. Number of tests we won by taking 20 wickets in a match in an overseas condition, we started. That's because the attitude changed, that I have to have that winning attitude. So therefore, every company, to answer and conclude the point, every company has, the structured way of grooming, training, developing, allowing you to do mistakes, allow you to express your ideas, views, and whatnot, and then scale up your career. Every company believes in that, irrespective of industry. Aman, I hope that answers both Praveen and I have given the required or, expected
Very,
or
very
satisfied
well
their.
explained, sir. Yeah, very
Yeah.
well explained, and with the cricket example. So, yeah, this highlights some excellent points on how sector-specific approaches to the leadership can, shape an individual's career growth. And let's talk about common myths and misconceptions about working in different sectors. And what are some of the most prevalent ones? And how can students differentiate between perception and reality when making career decisions?
Perception and reality. See, anything that you are entering, you enter with a certain set of assumptions, certain set of information. What is outcome is not a perception. That's an outcome. Hindsight is right. Somebody might say hindsight is wrong. Most important, if I am sitting, if I am talking to Diapal, if I am talking to, Manisha, and they are sitting on day one placement, they don't make it, does not mean they have not got into the best company. Maybe, Mridul has got into on the day four, but Mridul has found his way out, right? So there is no need to have any myth. There is no need to have any perception. All that I would say is, you know yourself more than anyone. Who knows better than myself? Vasu knows the most about oneself, about himself. Vasu knows, which means the day you go for an interview, whether it is for your summer internship, later for your placement in the second year, what are they going to ask? Hey, can I know a little more about you? What are the projects you have done? So on and so forth, beyond which nobody is going to ask anything. What will they decide? I have 10 people with me. I have to select one because all 10 are excellent. Because all 10 are excellent, they are all in IIM. So I have the problem of choosing the best. All of you are best, but I still have a chance that I can only pick up one. So remove if there is a myth in your mind that companies come with preset notion, they will pick up one or two and then go, no. Go back to your previous year's set of, your seniors. I'm sure when the placement happens, all of them would have got placed, which means there is no myth, it's reality, right? Second, anything that you do, you have to have your dedication, commitment, whatever you call it, 100%. You go and get, you want to give an interview on the day zero, forget day one, day two, day three, on the day zero. Your typical place com will bother you. No, the meet interview is at 3 o'clock. You have to wake up at 2 o'clock in Jammu when it is minus sub-zero. Don't worry about all that. All these are not okay. Because whether it is 12 in the night or 5 in the morning, it's me who's well prepared. What is that? I'm well prepared. I am prepared to answer any sort of questions within the framework that I have studied. The institution that you are working has given you every possible tool to qualify yourself better than where you were when you joined, which means you are going to answer that. You have done a lot of, internship. I mean, as in your short-term, weekly, weekend course, weekday course, etc. You would have done those kind of short-term projects. You would have done group studies. Everything is going to be around this. How good are you as a person? How good are you as a team person? How good are you in your innovative skill? What have you done? Something which is very different, Srileka, in the is what you are going to ask. So there is no myth. There shall be no assumptions. Therefore, go with an open mind, because again, you have somebody like Praveen on the screen who has traversed this path, right? Who has traversed this path. Today is a CEO of a company. If he had had such myth, I'm sure he would have not been here. So please don't have myth. It's all reality. It's entirely your responsibility to make it. So therefore, whether it is Yash or anyone wants to make it, Yamini, be clear. I am responsible for my outcome. Sorry, Praveen, over to you.
I think I couldn't agree more. I think that's very well put that what are the myths? There shouldn't be any myth. I will just put one more dimension to it, which probably is something different here. The only myth that you should remove from your head after you have passed out and joined your organization, that you are an MBA. Yeah, that's the myth you should remove. And why I'm telling you, I don't know how many of you have watched the FedEx ad. Have you seen that FedEx MBA ad? So let me just, if you haven't seen it, let me just give a small snapshot of that ad. So there is this young MBA who joins FedEx on the first day, and there is this old lady in FedEx who's been there in the system probably for long, and she says that we have some bills to punch and clear, and please do it for me. The guy hasn't come. Somebody hasn't come that day, and he's trying to explain. He's a new first MBA from a premier institute and the college, and he said, I'm into shipping, not into this billing and all that. She said, no, it's very easy, please come. Let me it's very quick, it'll not take much of a time. And he's kind of reluctant, and this lady is ushering him to a workstation, and while as and when she reaches the workstation, finally this guy tells, look lady, I'm an MBA. And she says, oh, you are an MBA. In that case, I'll have to show you how to do it. Yeah, so that's the biggest myth you should break, that you are entering. And I'm sure Vasu will agree with me. In his initial years, I don't think so he was strategizing or doing a BCG matrix or doing Porter model. He was visiting outlet to outlet, selling products, and almost and this probably was never taught in MBA schools. In my first day, when I came to marketing, the first job that I was told was to courier some, VHS tape. That those days, technology was not so good. So we used to see ads on VHS tape. So some ad was to be sent to all the 25, state headquarters where meeting was supposed to happen. And I was asked to courier it. And, my ability or my this thing was not judged by whether I'm MBA or not, or whether I know the BCG matrix or not, whether I know the Porter model or not. It was judged by the fact that whether I am resourceful enough to solve this problem for the irrespective of whether I'm MBA or not. And one of the things that you must go with this thing is not because, for next 15 years, trust me, you will not going to strategize. There are enough and senior people in the organization who will do it. You are going to make sure that you are a problem solver on the table. Yeah. You should be resourceful enough to make things happen on this thing. And while in the same process, learn. So that's the biggest myth. You should don't go with this perception that I'm going to sit as a white collar job doing, strategizing, doing some very meaty work. Go with this mindset that even if it is required to do the job of the person lowest in the value chain, you must be, ready. You must be ready to do that and not shy away from that. Because, a lot of times I have seen a lot of students, they get really, flustered and frustrated because probably in the initial year, they are not probably part of the team, which is either strategizing or doing the thinking job, and they're thinking that am I here for labor? And I have gone through this. I've been through this. I was very lucky enough to have mentors who told me that no, this is something that you must do. Trust me, I was selling toothpastes and mosquito repellents from shop to shop. And after doing MBA, I thought that's probably a demeaning job to be pleading the shopkeepers that please buy 3 pieces of toothpaste and 6 pieces of Odonil or Odomos. And I thought that this is something that is not what I am supposed to do. But I was lucky enough to have some mentors who told me that don't blink an eye, just keep doing this for next 3-4 years, and trust me, you will not repent, but you will be grateful that you did this for 3-4 years. And I'm telling you with the bottom of my heart that is something that has added so much value to me. And I will never ever forget the advices of those mentors who asked me to stick onto it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been where I am today. But just to illustrate this point, that how important it is to start from the bottom, learn how to do the jobs of people at the bottom of the value chain. So it will help you understand a lot of things. Don't be under this whole thing that I am an MBA. So that's the biggest myth you should break at the start of the career.
It's great to hear these clarifications and understanding the realities between these perceptions and can definitely help students make more informed decisions and choices. Next, we would like to understand the importance of sector-specific knowledge versus general business acumen. How can students strike the right balance between the two? Over to you, sir.
Praveen?
Yeah. So, okay, Aman, I don't see much of a, that shouldn't be an impediment because, you guys are studying right now. You're fresh. You'll be fresh out of college. I don't expect, and nobody expects you to have sector specific knowledge. Yes, you may have done your summer training and some various other trainings or internship in some sectors. So you will have a certain idea. But trust me, again, I don't want to kind of keep giving examples, but I think that that's the best way. I did my summer training in a finance organization, yeah, and ended up getting into a marketing and a sales and marketing job, yeah. So and that did not become an impediment, and I don't think so. The recruiters at that point of time, Balsara was my first company. They did not come and question me that you have done your summer training at a finance organization and so I will not choose you. So I don't think so that becomes a hindrance. Yes, it is of course good to have as much knowledge about each of the sectors that you can have. But again, I am telling you, sometimes it's not necessary that you have information about all sectors. Whatever information you have, go into depth of that information. And it is better to understand in depth one sector than to have superficial knowledge of 10 sectors. Yeah. So that's something that is not very desirable according to me. So sector knowledge is, I don't think so that's important in your placement or in the way you will grow in the organization, because once you join an organization, obviously you'll start learning that sector and the ways that that organization work. So I don't think so that comes in your way at all. Vasi, what's your view? I don't know if you have a different
Absolutely.
view
As
than what I
student,
put.
no, as student, they really don't have to have. That's one. And secondly, let us look at fundamentals. There is for every company, there is a customer, okay, and there is a seller. So understanding the need of the customer and fulfilling the need of the customer or consumer is what the role of a person. Whether I am selling a bubble gum or am I selling a Boeing, what am I trying to do? Is there a need or can I create a need as a marketeer? Okay, if I can create a need as a marketeer, selling a plane or a bubble gum, I'm just giving Boeing or bubble gum. Okay, I'm giving two extreme examples. Am I required to sell this? Why am I giving? Why 787 of Boeing is most successful model, and why A380 of Airbus is the disastrous model? You can go and check, right? That's because they didn't understand the customer need. Why in India Centre Fresh as a gum is 1,000 crore brand. Centre Fresh is 1,000 crore brand. Imagine at 1 rupee. For the last 30 years, it is 1 rupee, and they have not increased the price, and they are still profitable, and that's a 1,000 crore brand. How was it possible? Which means understanding. So this company would have thought that there is a market here. I'm saying Boeing or bubblegum. Again, I'm sticking to that example, right? There is a customer need. Can I support this through my manufacturing team? For a moment, let's assume that Aman is the CEO of both the companies. Aman will say, okay, if I need to sell a 1 rupee bubblegum and I cannot increase the price for 30 years, which you would have not thought then, obviously, so you would say that cost re-engineering has to be there. Why is it that my customer will buy? Why is it that my competition cannot continue like me? This is one, which means he will go to his manufacturing team and give certain, download. This is what I expect. He will also go to his marketing team and then say, with the evolving digital, don't spend money too much on media, as in the form of a TVC. Go and spend your money more judiciously. Thanks to digital payments today, the trade marketing or a customer support team would be. So similarly, at the start of your career, you don't have to be fixated. Any organization you go, what is common? There is a manufacturing process. When I say there is a product or service, right? There is a brand or a product and there is a service. Only these two. And to do this, you need people. And to do this, what type of people are we looking for? Either you need a sales and marketing people. Because everything is involved in money, you need a finance team. Because it is done by people, you need HR. Today, thanks to technology, you need IT. That's it, no? And then logistics is evolving in very many forms, which means there has to be somebody who's mastering supply chain. So all these are common to all companies. If you have worked in data, if you think that is your interest, then data is the most emerging. Within data, you can also add your AI related whatnot you can do. Today, this call is, let's say, AI enabled. Then the call, next time Aman does it, the kind of learning he would have, he may not know how to use it. He may go to his manager and say, Array, in that call, I found that AI enabled, these are the areas we could have improved. His manager would tell you because his IT manager would tell you. Then to enable that, he says, no, it costs money. His finance team will say, I don't have money, which means it's very, very simple. When you go in as a student, whichever is the industry, for example, you are in hospitality industry. Let's take another example. Worst, I mean, when I say worst as in the extreme example, that's the right word. You go into a hospitality industry, you are joining one of the best hotel groups in the country. And all your customers are nothing but the guests. So the guest has to be treated with certain level of, pampering, right? So that's again the understanding need of the customer. That's why Taj exists, ITC exists. Taj is from Tata's, ITC is from ITC. They both exist. So therefore, you have to go with a mindset that I'm industry agnostic. My talents are what I acquired in these 2 years, plus my college or engineering days, etc. We have done. What is my interest? Understand your interest first. If you are individually contributing to a purpose, that I am good at developing a program, I am good at crunching data, and not only data but understanding and analytics of data is my interest. Or somebody might say, no, I'm an innovative person. Eventually, I want to be in marketing, or my interest is on people. I like to work with people. I like people. I like motivating people. I would like to be engaged with people. Choose a large team, whether it is in sales and HR. If you want to be in factory, then its industrial relation is very, very different from human resource. Industrial relations have to be treated because it is governed by certain other external factors. So as you walk into any organization, you don't have to be industry specific in terms of your knowledge. So one last point, all of you again, I would be repeating from the Premier Institute. So therefore, believe that your institute has its own inherent strength and value that will make it lot. Your gate pass is actually, a VIP gate pass that you are getting already. So you have a privileged entry. So make use of it, the best use of it. Because by you people making it big, mind you, your following batches would look up to you only, So therefore, you can go to your previous batches and then learn. You can see maybe if 120 have passed out in the last batch or 120 in the previous year, where are they placed? Are they in the same FMCG only? Are they in different industry? What is that they like? You can learn from them also. Yeah, Praveen.
Sir, yeah, that was a very thoughtful way to consider, and the experiences you shared is very good. Lastly, let's discuss the pace of growth and innovation across sectors. Some sectors are stable but grow steadily, while others are high risk and high reward. And for an MBA students, what they should prioritize, stability or rapid innovation?
Say it again as a student.
As a MBA student, what they should prioritize, stability or rapid innovation, or both?
Okay, I'll go ahead, Praveen.
Yeah.
Stability, again, see, rapid innovation, stability. I don't recall the name of the book, but it all that said in, if I'm right, I don't recall, my apology. All that it talked about how between 1989 and 2000, when millennium happened, how very many things have changed around the world, be it the fall of the, German wall, be it the, disintegration of USSR, be it the internet, be it the mobile phone, the dot-coms, whatnot. We talk about it. When all of you were born, there was probably, you people may not have seen when you're in a pager, right? So innovation is a continuous process. Example, your parents may have driven a Maruti. The embedded version of Maruti today is very different. So innovation is continuous. Whether it is breakthrough, path breaking, that doesn't happen every day. Yeah, in mobile, what can you do? You can make a 2G into a mobile is a mobile. At the end of it, 2G became 3G, 3G became 4, 4 became 5, and it will become 6, 7, and whatnot. Like the way iOS when it was launched and what iOS today, or an iPod what it was. So innovation is more continuous. So therefore, maybe I don't want you people to confuse between stability, etc. As long as you are sure you have spent fair amount of time to understand the organization, and you have also given a fair amount of time to the organization to understand you, stability will never be a question. It will always be there. You join an organization as a management trainee, you have to undergo a 6 to 8 months program, then you will be assigned a role. This itself is 6 plus 2, 8 months, and then a role. The role you may have done, somebody must have done wow, somebody may not have done really great. But that could be because of historical problems. Maybe the previous year there was monsoon, there was excess rainfall, there was whatnot, and etc. and all. So don't get confused about this stability. You have to give fair amount of time to the organization. You have to expect vice versa. Organization giving you sufficient time and vice versa. And therefore, that will help you. Again, I have to go back to same example as Praveen himself is there on screen. He has given fair amount of time to his employer, and you have seen him. So therefore, don't be in a hurry. There is no race, and I'm sure all of you are Insta, and all of you or most of you would follow cricket. Often you see Harsha Bogle's 30-seconder, that it's not a T20, life is not a T20, career is not a T20. He keeps talking about it. I'm sure he can articulate these quite well to your liking. It's not a race that you are going to win anywhere. It's your life. You have at least another 30, 40 years. Take it at your own pace. Don't be in a hurry. Parents will put pressure. Don't take that parental pressure. I'm sorry, I'm also a parent. I have enough gray hairs to say that. I'm 60. So my son also was like one of you when he was preparing himself to attend for a day zero summer interns and then placement and whatnot. Uh, I was not bothered. So don't put your parents, don't feed them with too much. I'm telling this as a lighter note. Don't take it so serious. There is somebody who is telling don't talk to parents. I'm not saying that. Don't pass on the pressure that
Okay,
you have. Your mother can pray for you. Your father will wish at best, right? So therefore, understand the company. You understand the company. Allow the company to understand you. I think rest will be much more easier. Sorry, Praveen. I know I'm a little. I'm also old, so I talk like a father here.
not at all, Vasu. I think I'm no better person than Vasu to speak about stability versus innovation. He has seen it all. Let me give a different color to it. Aman, I don't think so. These are inversely related, stability and innovation, and I'll prove it by, let's say, another one set of examples. So let's say you may think that Apple is a fairly innovative organization. Yeah, every 2 3 years it comes out with a new mobile with new features, or a car company, let's say like a Toyota is a fairly innovative organization. And some of the FMCG companies, because let's say if I'm selling a toothpaste for last 50 years, I don't think so the Colgate toothpaste has changed. But let me give you a little perspective on both the things. Uh, Vasu took an example of Center Fresh, and he said that for 30 years, Center Fresh is Center Fresh, and it is selling at 1 rupee. Now, somebody and all of us may think that it is the most non-innovative product. It is Center Fresh for 30 years. It has been selling the same Center Fresh, same product, no change in the product, nothing. But let me tell you, there is massive innovation required to sell that same Center Fresh for 1 rupee for 30 years. And you may not see it overtly on the product, but back end, I'm sure R&D would have worked so much on this that for 30 years it is still selling at 1 rupee and making similar profits. So it is equally innovative than when compared to an iPhone. Now let's come to iPhone. Now iPhone, every 2 years it changes the product. Is Apple a non-stable organization? Not. It's a very stable organization. So there is innovation in product, there will be innovation in technology. That doesn't mean that stability. So therefore, it is not a choice between stability and innovation. Yeah, it's a choice between how you or how do you want to shape up. It's more of the thing that, okay, in which type of organizations that I want to work. And trust me, organizations on the outside may look very, all the FMCG organizations to me may look, and for the new generation especially, may look that these are very non-innovative organizations. वही hair oil बेच रहे, same shampoo they have been selling, same toothpaste, same Center Fresh. But trust me, huge amount of innovation. It's just not that technology is going through innovation. Everything else is going through innovation, and the reason why organizations are stable because they are doing innovation. So these are actually not. It's not whether this or this. It is actually combined, and you should look for organizations who are in long term, are innovative, and only those organizations which are innovative will be stable for long periods of time. Yeah, organizations which are not innovative will not be stable. So that's my take on it. And I would add to what Vasu said is that focus on your starting the journey. First 3 years, 5 years has to be very, very dedicated, be very resourceful, be very solution oriented. One of the once somebody had said that he went to his boss and said that this can't be done. So the boss told him that, I've recruited you from an MBA college. I pay you. And that time during my days, the salaries were not that much. So I pay you 15,000 rupees a month. And here is my peon whom I pay 3,000 rupees a month. This peon also can come and say that it is cannot be done. The reason I am paying you 15,000, that I want a solution from you. Yeah. So be very solution oriented, be in this mode that I have to bring in some value to the table? How can I contribute in whatever small way? How can I bring an impact into the organization? What new things I can do for my boss? So that is something that is the culture that you should go in. And trust me, again, very difficult. Sometimes some organizations which are very new may look non-stable right now, but they may grow into a very stable organization because right now they are in the growth path. They may look a little more chaotic, but what you should see fundamentally is the organization has their fundamentals in the right place. If the organization is their fundamental is in the right place, trust me, most of them will be stable over a long period of time. That's my take on that. Aman, you're on mute, I think. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, sir. Sorry. So, absolutely, sir. It's enlightening to hear these insights on how students can evaluate their preferences and adapt to varying growth dynamics. Also, thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights. And I think we will now open the floor for questions from the students. If the students are having any questions, please raise your hand or type in the chat box so that I can, direct it to our panelist.
If any of you don't have question really and not coming up, you know, uh, off the cuff, feel free to write. Aman can take up all this. I'm sure you have the,
Right.
Bejobbed,
Mail ID.
email address. Feel
Yeah.
free. Be assured that you will get reply. I'm sure, Praveen is on LinkedIn. So am I. Uh,
Yeah.
One thing you must believe that people like Praveen, who's still in, full-time service. I Tomorrow I have a program with another IIM. Last week I had one, and all this on a lighter note, I don't get paid, but I'm so happy because I am doing what will make me feel happy. That how can the knowledge be transferred? So all of you don't hesitate to ask, because one thing I know in a typical MBA, like Praveen, like me, there will be, especially in the first 4 to 5 months, you people will be flooded with a lot of people. And sometimes it could be just repetitive. Honestly, it is not repetitive because that's how the organizations are. They want to make it very clear to you, you young aspiring leaders of future have to understand, you have to make difference for yourself. All organizations just expect that. So if you still have question, more than happy. If you not, don't hesitate. I should have asked, I could have asked. We are always available. Aman is available, and he'll be able to get the best answer from us. Aman, any question? Otherwise, absolutely not a problem.
So, are you having any questions? Any students can ask questions. We'll wait for another 1 minute. Yes, Chirag, please ask your question. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you
Yeah,
are.
Chirag.
My question is to Mr. Praveen Jaipuriar. So I have been a customer for the Continental Coffees for 1.5 years now. Uh, I would like to ask you that despite of being an Indian brand, which is very competitively placed in the market, I haven't seen your product in the local shops of in my city. I'm from Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, but I have found them in these superstores of Reliance and various other specialty stores in the malls, etc. Sir, do you is means what I want to know is your do you place your product as a high-end product for high income segment, or is there anything that I am missing in my analysis while I look at these coffee brands?
So I think, Chirag, you have two parts of your question. One is that you don't find continental coffee in the outlets where you probably stay, which is Ghaziabad. So just a small this thing. See, we are a very young organization when it comes to B2C. Continental Coffee is one of the largest players in the B2B. We have been supplying coffee to almost 90, 100 countries, but not in our own brand. We are, a third party manufacturer for the brand owners and traders and so on. And it's only 5 years ago that we started launching our product. And and this probably will also help you understand some of the marketing strategies of segmentation and things like that. What we figured out that in India, the coffee market, 70% of the market lies in south of India. Yeah. And rest balance. So 25% of the population consumes 70% of the category, which means that the balance 75% of the population consumes only 30%, which means that the resource required to tap into the 70% will be far more efficient than trying to tap the whole of the market. Yeah. So that is the reason in our initial years, because we were like a small, just like a startup, we behaved like a startup. We didn't want to burn money. So we focused on the South India. We said that that's where we will make a mark. And once we have made a mark, we probably will be able to expand. And also, we have been fighting. We are just a one product company, very specializing on one product. To set up a vast distribution network will be very difficult for me. So what we have done is we have kind of concentrated on South with the general trade and other channel distribution. And for rest of the countries, we have taken it in the next phase. So what we are doing is that if you go to probably the quick commerce platforms and the e-commerce platforms, you will find all our products. And that is how we want to distribute and only be concentrated in the few outlets in the cities which are there in non-South. So that is one. And therefore, over a period of time, slowly you will start finding it in more and more stores as we grow bigger and bigger. So that's on the question that why don't you find it? Secondly, that is it a high-end product? Do I not target the let's say the middle segments or the lower middle segment? Coffee by nature, India is a tea drinking country. Coffee by nature has been a little more, urban, a little more targeted towards the higher income segment. That is because it's a little more expensive product than what tea is. And that's how the thing has happened. Now, what is going to happen in the future is that, it takes a few, because, food is something that grows on you. And it is a matter of your tongue or your taste palette getting accustomed to it. So if I'm a tea drinker, I cannot, once in a while I'll have coffee, but my tongue is still, let's say, attuned to drinking tea. So my morning cup, my evening cup will be tea. So for a country or for a mass population to convert to coffee, it will take time. And how does it happen? What will happen is that now you're seeing a lot of cafes around you. So youngsters like you probably, and even younger people than you, probably will be drinking a lot of coffee when they go out. And once they start drinking more and more coffee, it will start getting onto their tongue. And when you guys set up your homes, let's say, after you get into job, you get into family, because you have got attuned to coffee, you will start bringing coffees. That's how the in-home consumption will start. And that's how the penetration will, go deeper into the segments, and or let's say the mass segments also will start drinking coffee. As far as we are concerned, we are very mindful of this, and even with the fact that we are very small when it comes to the B2C segment, and we are fighting the Nestle's and Unilevers of the world, we do make sure, or we are doing a lot of things to make sure that the penetration goes down. So we have introduced variants and other forms of coffee which are very, very affable. We have got a premix which is only priced at 10 rupees. Just to make sure that it becomes affable to one and all and can be drunk by many people. So that's the answer to your second question.
Thank you, sir. Good to know.
Do we have another question? Okay, I think we are done with the questions. So, this has been an incredibly enlightening discussion. And on behalf of everyone here, I would like to thanks to our speakers for taking the time to share their experiences and perspectives with us today. And to all the attendees, all the students, and especially the placement committee, I hope today's session has given you a better understanding of the corporate world and in many facets. And thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. And have a great day.